I'm thinking we're gonna get started on our bellies today. And I didn't say, I sent this out in the email, but I just wanted to make sure you all knew that we need something kind of strap-like and something kind of block-like too. So my teacher in New York, I took one of her classes last week, and she's like, it doesn't have to be a book. It could be a pot from the kitchen, you know, just like anything sturdy you can set yourself down on. It's all about just holding up your hips in a restorative bridge pose. So yeah, but we will get started on our bellies, and maybe it would feel nice to, like, it's nice out, but maybe a blanket, maybe a little something on top of you for a little bit of weight to get started. I'm gonna go around and just kind of put everybody on mute if you're not already there. Let's see here. Okay. All right. All right, and as you begin to find your belly, we're gonna take a few moments in silence before we turn the music on, before we start moving. And I'm thinking that here on your belly, just a simple relaxed pose where your hands are stacked and your forehead is resting on the backs of your hands, your elbows are out wide. All right, wonderful. Beginning in this crocodile pose. Right, and as you settle yourself down to the floor, notice your belly. Hi Kai, hi Masha. Notice your belly pressing down into the floor, and notice if your glutes are clenched. This was brought up in class yesterday, like my glutes are just clenched all the time right now. If that's you too, shake it out a little bit. Shake your hips from side to side and then find a little bit of stillness again. Wonderful. Good. And for the next few deep breaths, just notice the way the back of the body moves up and away from the floor on your inhale and the way you settle back down on your exhale. So just taking the deepest breaths you can here. Really listen for the sound of your own breath. And as you check in with the sound of your own breath, notice that the rhythm that your breath is creating, this personal rhythm. Just allowing yourself to be held by the floor here just for a few moments in stillness if it suits you. All right, and then as you feel good and ready, you can begin to kind of wake yourself up in the small ways, maybe rocking your head from side to side on the backs of your hands. Maybe it's you taking a really deep breath here. When you're ready to turn your music on or make that move, go for it. We'll get started with a little bit of the music. Good. And here on our bellies, I think for a couple moments, we're gonna stretch out nice and long. So we'll take the arms out past the head. We'll set the head down on the floor. Good, legs nice and long behind you. Good, and then let's lift up that right arm and that left leg and just kind of hold them out here. Good, really reaching out through the right fingertips, reaching out through the left toes. Good, set yourself down. Give yourself a little shake. And then lift up that right leg and that left arm. Hold yourself up. Notice what that right arm is doing too. See if you can relax the elbow down to the floor. Okay, and set yourself back down. We're just gonna move at our own pace here, lifting up opposite leg and opposite arm and setting down. Good. Good, and then let's swim both arms alongside the body and lift the chest up. Reach the fingertips back towards the outer ankle. Good, and set yourself down here. Slide your hands underneath your pelvis. And then think about lifting up your feet here, really squeezing the glutes. Keep your head down towards the floor. Reach out through the toes. Good, and then set both of your legs down and slide that left leg out so the knee is up towards the side of the chest. And if you want to extend the left leg long here, that's a thought too. Good, just a couple more breaths like this. All right, extend that left leg nice and long behind you. Good, let's drag the right knee up towards the right side of the chest. Same thing, half frog pose. Good, if you want to extend that right leg out long into the side, it's a thought, possibility. Good, and then let's swing that right leg back behind again. And as you lift yourself up, take a little locust pose here. So reaching those arms nice and long, back towards the feet, and then swim the arms forward and take the legs out a little wider and just moving here a little bit in each direction. Good, swimming on the floor if it suits you. Good, 3 more of these maybe. Right, and we'll take the hands under the shoulders and shift it on back into child's pose next. All right, so as you find your child's pose, think about taking the knees a little bit wide, maybe about as wide as your mat. Good, extend those arms out nice and long and then walk your hands on over to the right. We'll find some space in the left side of the body. Good. Right, and start to walk your hands through to the center and right on over to the other side. Good, all right, and let's come back through to the center. And if you want to play around with rolling up onto the crown of your head a little bit, that might be kind of nice. This is, I don't know if you guys experience the seasonal allergies, but I'm definitely have a little bit of that going on. And there's a pressure point right at the top of your head that can help to alleviate sinus pressure, help to alleviate congestion. Good, yeah, you could take those arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, press them up to stretch through the shoulders a little bit if you want to. Great, and then if you are up in your rabbit pose, and just come on back out of it. Extend those arms out nice and long. Take your child's pose. Great, from your child's pose, look in between the hands and just kind of slither yourself forward on the mat, taking this super low cobra pose. Good, exhale on back into downward facing dog. Good, and as you take your downward dog, just notice the strength in your arms, your shoulders. Good, pedal those heels out. Great, and maybe we'll take, I don't know, 7 breaths or so here, like a luxurious amount of time. You see if you can let your head drop way down here. If your brain has been busy doing work all day or just kind of mapping out what's going on, and think about allowing your mind to just sort of melt a little bit here. Let the head drop. See if you can release some of your thoughts. What doesn't need to stay for your practice? Good. As you inhale, roll forward into high plank pose. Good. And then we're just going to take the knees down to the floor a little bit here. So we're going to come into like plank with the knees down. And then we're going to take that right ankle and bring it up behind us. Extend that left leg long. Reach that right arm up, or left arm up nice and high. So finding a modified side plank. Good. Left arm out past the head if that works in your body. Good. And then let's come on back into a tabletop pose here. From tabletop, let's tuck the toes underneath and find a plank pose. And we'll shift back into downward facing dog. Good. Few big breaths. Right. From here, roll forward into high plank pose again. Let's drop those knees to the floor so they're just a little bit back from the hips. And then we'll roll into our modified side plank with that left knee down, right arm reaches up. And maybe even out past the head. Good, and come back through to the center, hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes underneath, press back to plank pose. Good, and right on back into downward facing dog. Great. From here, let's step the hands up towards the feet, or the feet to the hands, and take a standing forward fold. Good, in this forward fold, soften the knees, roll the shoulders around a little bit. Good, and then let's take the arms back behind us and interlace the fingers behind the back. Use your strap if that's helpful for your shoulders. Good. We're going to deeply bend the right knee and drop the right shoulder in towards that right knee. You might want to widen your stance a touch. Good. Come back through to the center. Left shoulder to a bent left knee. Good. And back through the center. Let's drop that strap or bring the hands down to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step it on back into downward facing dog. Good, drop down to your extended child's pose. Good, we'll stand up on the knees, reach the arms nice and high. Take the hands down to the lower back for camel. Good, dropping that head back if it works for your neck. Right, we'll fold it back out into extended child's. Good, slide the heart through in between the hands, take your low cobra or maybe bigger cobra, and ride on back to down dog. Good, extend the right leg up and back behind you. And then step it in between the hands. You're gonna drop that left knee down. Good, and so you can keep your hands on the floor here for a bit. If you want to lift up, you can do that, hands to the knee, or you might even reach those arms high. Good. Yeah, maybe one more deep breath in here. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor, step that left foot forward. And hang here for a moment. Just a little rock from side to side. Good, inhale, come all the way up, reach nice and high. Maybe a tiny little back bend. And let's take chair pose from here. So hands together at the heart. Good, if you want to reach those arms up, you're welcome to reach the arms up. But really be mindful of your shoulders. Good, as you exhale, fold forward. And step that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. And drop that right knee down. Good, and so maybe a little wiggle around down on the floor, hands to either side of the foot. If you want to lift up high, you're welcome to. Good. Just do what works. Wonderful. One more deep breath here. As you bring the hands down to the floor, tuck those right toes underneath. Step back to downward facing dog. Good. Child's pose, arms nice and long in front of you. Good. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here in child's pose, maybe gently rocking the head from side to side. Maybe you are breathing and noticing the space in between your shoulder blades or on the sides of your rib cage. Great. If you want to make that trip up onto the crown of your head again, you are welcome to move there. Rabbit pose. Yeah, rolling forward so the hips are kind of above the knees. Crown of the head touches down, and maybe you're wrapping those arms around you, pressing the knuckles up towards the ceiling. Good, only if it feels right. Great, and if you are up in your rabbit, coming back down, extended child's pose. We'll all peel ourselves up from that extended child's pose, standing up on the knees, reaching those arms high. Let's circle the hands around to the lower back, and we'll take our little dip back into camel pose. And just be super aware of how things are feeling, only moving to the point where it feels okay. Good, one more deep breath in. As you exhale, extended child's pose again. Good. Slide the heart through in between the hands, lift it up, little cobra pose. Maybe an up dog if you're feeling it. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Great, let's lift that left leg up and back behind, take a big stretch, and then step the left foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. We're gonna drop that right knee down to the floor. Good, inhale, raise those arms up and overhead, Anjaneyasana. If you want to take the relaxed arms, maybe interlace the fingers, rest the head into the hands. Good. One deep breath in. As you exhale, place the hands down on the floor on either side of that foot. Let's step the right foot forward to meet the left. Standing forward fold. Good. Sweep yourself all the way up to standing on your inhale. And as you exhale, sit down into a chair pose of your choosing. So this can be like really invigorated, arms lifting up, maybe even hands touching. Maybe you want to take your hands onto your lap. Good. If you're feeling like you want to strengthen the feet a bit, lift the heels away from the floor. Come up onto the toes. Good. Just testing your balance out a little bit. Perfect. And then when you're ready, fold yourself forward over two long legs. Nice. Right. Inhale to step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop the left knee down, and then we're gonna raise the arms up and overhead for your Anjaneyasana. Yeah, good. And this time you might take some cactus arms and really think about squeezing the shoulder blades in towards each other. Squeeze sounds aggressive, maybe in a non-aggressive way, like a little like loving squeeze. Good, and then we'll set the hands down to the floor, stepping on back into downward facing dog. Good, and as you lift those hips up and back, let your head drop way down just for a couple breaths. Perfect. Right. Let's find child's pose again, dropping down to those knees, keeping them sort of close. Right. So another few moments here in a child's pose. If you like a rabbit pose, cool, you can stay there. If you want to turn upside down into a headstand and that's in your practice and you feel really comfortable doing something like that, feel free. Yeah, mama, give your baby a spot. Perfect. Okay, and as you're turning upside down, if you're turning upside down, just take a moment and open your eyes. And just kind of take notice of the world around you. Cool. All right, and then we're all gonna come on out of the upside down thing and back out into your extended child's pose. And then we'll all stand up on the knees, slide the hands around the hips, take them to the lower back, find your camel. Good. As you drop the head back, if you drop the head back, notice the space between the tip of your chin and the hollow of your collarbones. Good. Great. And then coming on out of this, gently set yourself back down into your child's pose. And then we'll slide ourselves through into a low cobra again. So lifting that heart up, pressing into the hands, and then lift them nice and high if that's in your practice. Pressing the hands, straighten those arms. Good. Take it on back into downward facing dog. Great. And from downward facing dog, reach your right leg up and back behind you. As you exhale, place the right foot in between your hands. And let's take a high lunge from here. So feet a little bit wide on two separate tracks. Good. Hands can come to the hips. They can come up to the sides. Maybe reach out. You can do anything that you want them to do. Really press back through that left heel. Good. Press down into your right big toe. Good. Deep breath in. Exhale, place the hands on either side of that right foot. Let's find a standing leg lift, standing split. The left leg lifts high. Good, and that right leg kind of straightens out here. If you have a block nearby, it might be nice to, or the block-like thing, might be nice to find it. Good, one deep breath in. And an exhale is gonna set that left foot down next to the right. We're gonna widen the feet, or widen our stance, and sit down into a squat from here. I don't think it can be a birth class without a squat. I think we need one of these, yeah. Right, and maybe there's a little gentle rocking from side to side. Good. Let's take the right hand down to the floor, reach that left arm up nice and high, take a really big stretch across the collarbones. Perfect. And then set that left hand down. Let's fold ourselves forward and release the fingers behind the back. Bend the left knee. Take your little standing twist here. Left knee bends. Good. Release yourself through to the center. And just give it a little shake out. Good. As you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step it on back into high plank pose. Good. And then from your high plank pose, we're going to take a side plank, dropping the heels over to the right. So that right knee might drop to the floor. Okay, maybe you're staggering. Good. Maybe both hands are on the floor. Nice. One more deep breath in, and then come on back through to the center. Lower yourself down and really make contact with the floor. Good, and then extend those arms out long past the head as you lie on the floor. Okay, and we're just gonna do maybe a tiny bit of floor swimming here again. So as you lift up the chest, lift up the arms, the legs, just move the arms and legs however it serves you. Maybe it's like this. Maybe you want to do the breaststroke, you know? Anything we'll do here, but just move your limbs, right? Getting from one place to the next. Yeah. Good. Few more breaths. And then set yourself back down on the floor. Really make contact. Good. Great. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes underneath. See if you can first lift up the knees. And then lift up the hips, and then lift up the rest of you. Really lift yourself into that plank. Press the hands into the floor. Take it on back into downward facing dog. Good. Yeah, a few moments here in down dog. Great. Extend that left leg up and back behind you. And as you exhale, step the left foot in between your hands. Let's take our lunge here, high lunge. Good, arms doing any old thing. Whatever feels empowering to you today. Maybe today you're feeling a little tired and you want to take your arms alongside you, or maybe it's that nice Anjali Mudra at the center of the chest, whatever works. Great, as you breathe, really feel your feet on the floor. Good. Feel that heart kind of picking up a little bit. Good, and then we'll set both hands down on either side of that left foot. Send the right leg up nice and high. Standing leg lift or standing split. I'm not sure why I didn't cue this on the other side. You might explore a little bit of balance here, taking one of your hands back to that standing leg and maybe taking the other hand, just down to the floor. Maybe both hands back. Or both hands lift. Good. And then coming out of this and into the squat will feel real nice if you're practicing the balance. So yes, bring those feet a little bit wider, sitting the hips down in between the heels, and then just that little bit of movement from side to side if it feels right. Or maybe stillness if that's what you need. Good. And then we're gonna take that left hand down to the floor, reach the right arm up nice and high, find your twist. Nice, a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then we're going to take kind of a standing wide fold here, not super wide, but a little wide. Wrap the arms behind you, and we're going to take our twist on over to the other side. So right shoulder down towards the right knee, I think. Good. As you breathe out, come on back to center. Take your hands down to the floor. Come on back into high plank pose. Good. And from this high plank, we're going to rock the heels over to the left and find your side plank. Maybe both hands connect the whole time. Maybe that right hand lifts up or reaches out past your head. Yeah, good. Nice strong left hip lifts away from the floor. Good. As you're ready, come on back through to the center. And set yourself all the way down. Make contact again. Good. Feel your forehead on the floor. Right. And the strap might come in handy here too if you've got it nearby. We're going to bend the knees behind us and just reach back for both of your feet with both of your hands. And if you feel inclined to go up into a bow pose now, pressing your feet into your hands, you can. But you might also just focus on lengthening through the quadriceps a bit. Like pulling those heels in towards the sitting bones. Good. As you're ready, set those feet back down. Hands under the shoulders. Let's tuck the toes underneath, lift the knees, lift the hips, lift the chest. Come on back, downward dog. Good. Let's inhale, raise that right leg up and back behind. Open through the hip. Great. Let's set the right foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Let's find the triangle pose. So straightening out both legs. Okay, turn your chest towards the side. Right hand can be down on the shin or maybe it's on a block. I'm just going to raise that left arm up nice and high. If you want to extend that left arm out past the head, that's a thought here too. And you might even think about kind of moving the head back in space a little bit, reaching the fingers back behind you. Feel a nice opening through the left side body. Right, and then we're gonna sweep that left hand down to the floor, walk around, deeply bend that left knee, and straighten through the right leg. Good, and from here, reach that right arm up, left hand touches down into the floor. Okay, we'll take the right hand down, shift into a standing wide angle. And let's lift up halfway, turn the heels in, hands to the hips, come up in a goddess, elbows bend. Good, and sitting down low if it suits you, maybe a little rock from side to side. Good, and here, let's wrap the left arm underneath the right, eagle arms. And then sort of snake the upper body from side to side. And then let's straighten those arms out, take them to the sides, Shift back into triangle legs, right hand down, left hand reaches up. One more time. Okay, left hand comes to the floor. Let's hop that right foot in just a little bit and fold forward over the right leg. Yeah, and if you feel like taking a revolved triangle, that left hand can be down on the floor to the inside of the right foot, right hand up to the low back, or up towards the ceiling. Good, set that right hand down, step the left foot up to the top of the mat, and we'll find our squat again if that works for you. You can also hang out in a standing forward fold or take child's pose. If you're feeling like an arm balance of sorts, the hands could come down to the floor just about shoulder width, knees up onto the triceps, maybe a little gentle rock forward. One set of toes might pick up, maybe both, maybe none. Okay, good. And let's do a little bit of glute strengthening standing up here. So we're going to come up from down low. Oh! Reach the arms up and overhead. Take a big stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms and take it back and through your flow, whatever makes sense tonight. Good. Find ourselves back in down dog in a moment or two. Okay, from downward dog, raise that left leg up and back behind you. Hold that left leg nice and high. Open through the hip here, point the knee up. Good, and then step that left foot in between the hands. We're gonna move from the ground up in a triangle pose. So both legs lengthen. Right heel spins down to the floor. Good. Let's reach that right arm up nice and high. Good, you might extend that right arm out past the head. Think about lifting from the left side of the rib cage. Wonderful, let's sweep the right hand back down to the floor, along the floor, deeply bend that right knee. Left toes point up. Great, right hand to the floor, reach that left arm up nice and high. Wonderful, let's set the left hand down and come into our standing wide angle. Inhale, halfway lift, turn the heels in, point the toes out, deeply bend those knees. Time for another goddess. Good, and as you find this, just maybe a little movement if it suits you, but maybe you want to just like hold still. Really be strong here, steady. Good, and we'll wrap the right arm underneath the left this time. If you want to snake the upper body side to side, it's up to you. Good, let's open those arms up again. Straight through both legs. Triangle pose one more time. Right hand down, left hand up. Great, extend that left arm out past the head one more time. And then we'll take it down to the floor here and step that left foot in just a touch. Ooh, I think I might have gotten the wrong side here. So we should have that left foot forward, right foot back. Yeah, pyramid on the other side. Great, and then fold yourself in here if it works. Notice the back of that left leg. Good, and keeping that right hand down, take your left hand up to the lower back, or maybe up towards the ceiling. Your revolve triangle pose. Beautiful. Yeah, and then we'll take that left hand back down if it's lifted. Step the right foot forward. And let's wiggle those feet so that they're just underneath the sitting bones. You are going to take a Uttanasana, or standing forward fold. So getting the legs as straight as you can. There might be a gentle bend in there, but looking to lengthen the backs of the legs. And then from here, slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up and overhead. And bring the hands together to the heart. All right, and let's just take a moment standing in mountain pose. I have a couple of thoughts for this. You could keep it basic. Your feet on the floor, your arms long alongside you. That might be nice. If you're feeling maybe mildly adventurous today, and oh my God, I hope I don't drop this, but maybe you want to take your block-like object and place it two places really. One on top of your head. It's charm school now, that's what we're doing. Or you might take your block and kind of hold it in your hands above your head, nice and tall for your King of the Mountain. Yeah, so just kind of making a choice here. Standing steady, arms alongside you, or maybe adding on that block stuff. Really feel your feet on the floor. Really feel the crown of the head reaching up. And notice if you feel wobbly today or if you feel steady. Good. Maybe 3 more deep breaths in your variation of mountain. Good. If you have something over your head, just go ahead and bring it back down to the floor. We're all going to make for our strap now. So you may not need the strap, or maybe you do want to use it. Choice is yours. There are a bunch of different options. Let's just try standing on, why don't we all stand on our left leg first and pull our right knee up and towards our chest. Good. So maybe this feels like a good place to be. Or you could bring your fingers down to your right big toe and kind of draw that hip in a little bit more. Of course, there are other things to do here too. You can be extending the leg out long, and you could wrap the strap around the bottom of your foot to help that to happen. And just know that maybe you're bending that standing leg knee a little bit. It doesn't have to be so rigid. That extended leg can be nice and long too. Good, and then we're gonna take that right ankle and place it on the left knee and just come to sit down. Little double hard chair, yeah. Good, hands could come together at the center of the chest. Or if you want to interlace the fingers and reach the knuckles back behind you, sometimes that's kind of like a stabilizing force. And eventually we're going to set both feet down to the floor and fold ourselves forward. And give yourself a shake. Give the arms a good shake. Let them wiggle around. Shake the head out a little bit. Good, let's come on back up. We'll reach those arms up and overhead again. Take your big stretch. And then a moment to steady yourself in mountain pose. So once again, feeling both of your feet on the floor. Good, and think about healing that left knee up towards the chest, pressing your right foot into the floor. Hey, all these options. You can hold on to that left knee. Right, maybe you want to reach for the toes, or extend the leg out long. Lots and lots of things you could do here. Wherever you are, try to breathe. Wonderful. And then we're going to cross that left ankle over the right knee. And just kind of, see what happens. Maybe come to sit down for a moment. Hands together at the heart is a really nice thing to do here too. Provides that center line to kind of wobble around. Yeah. And once you feel like it's time to come on out of it, go ahead and do that. Let's just take a little swing. If you still have your strap in your hand, you might take the strap overhead as you take your swing. Good. You might rock the upper body from side to side. Good. Maybe it's like a big rotation. Ow. And maybe you spend a few moments in a standing back bend where your hands are kind of wide on the strap. You feel that nice deep stretch through the underarms, the heart up a little bit. Good, and then let's fold forward. And take a couple of big breaths here. You very slowly start to work your way back up to standing. And we're just going to play on that a little bit more. So let's stand on that left foot and bring the right knee in towards the chest. And here we're going to take a twist. So there are options. You could take that right knee in the left hand and bring your right hand onto your lower back as you kind of broaden across the collarbone to reach that right arm behind you. You could also reach for the outer edge of the right foot with your left hand. Maybe extend that leg long as you take the twist. Straps are good here too. Good. Where you are is awesome. Good. And then coming out of it, let's just untwist. Place that right ankle on the left knee again. Great. Ooh boy, now we're going to go for ultimate pretzeliness. Maybe the right elbow taps down onto the left big toe. Maybe the hands meet here in this twisted half chair. If it feels awkward, that's okay, because it is. Yeah, and you'll know when you're done. And set both feet on the floor. Give yourself a little shake. Go forward fold. Maybe you want to come up and take the strap in your hands and wave that upper body around again. Good, just a couple more breaths. And take your hands a little wider on the strap. Bring the straps back behind you and slide them down the backs of your legs as you fold forward. Good, inhale, come halfway up. And exhale to fold forward again. And if you want to come back to downward dog, move through something slow like you're welcome to. Kind of wash things out. Nice. Maybe hanging the down dog is where you want to be. Good. And then we'll all meet back up at the top of the mat or wherever. It doesn't really matter actually. In your standing forward fold. And slowly roll yourself up to standing. Great. All right, let's do the other side. We can do it. Let's bring that left knee in towards the chest. Okay, you can hang here. You might decide to take a twist. That right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. The left arm reaches back. Maybe, just maybe, you want some kind of extension in the leg. So you take the right hand to the outside of the left foot. Okay, try to breathe. And then let's start to ease out of the twist. Set the outer left ankle onto the top of the right knee. And then begin to move that left elbow towards your right big toe. And maybe the hands press together. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's not a thing. Yeah! Oh, yeah, you'll know when you're done. It'll be so obvious. Come on out. Standing forward fold. Take a moment to wiggle the upper body from side to side. Maybe let a big breath out of the mouth. Right on. All right, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Take it back to high plank pose. And then go ahead and lower yourself down slowly towards the floor. Elbows skim the body, maybe pressing into an upward facing dog where the knees are lifted. Then take it on back to downward facing dog. Good. All right, and I just want to give one more little opportunity here to do an upside down thing if it serves you. You might decide to shift your shoulders above your wrists and kind of walk the feet up towards the hands a little bit. And then maybe one of your feet picks up. Maybe there's a little kick off of that grounded foot. You are practicing this. Maybe the other side too. See how it goes. Good. And then we're going to take a child's pose. So settling yourself down when it feels like time. Your child's pose, curling up into this little ball. Wrap your arms around the body. Nice. Perfect. And then let's begin to lift ourselves up. And coming up into the seated position on the heels, if it makes sense in your body to do that. I'm thinking of a hero's pose maybe. And your block-like object could be helpful here too. Maybe you want to take that object and place it in between your feet and come to sit down on it. Okay, ideally, the knees are kind of tracking straight out from the hip sockets. And then reclining could happen here too. So again, checking in with the knees, maybe pick up the pelvis, tip the tailbone, the tip of the tailbone towards the knees. And if you want to lower down, go ahead and lower down if that works for you. Otherwise, sitting up, breathing deeply. If you're reclining in your hero's pose, picking yourself back up, getting out of it, eventually take that block out from underneath the hips or the sitting bones. And we'll just roll over and extend the legs out long and kind of do the opposite of that for a moment, maybe the exact opposite. Walk the flesh back, the flesh underneath your sitting bones so your pelvis can tilt forward. Both legs out nice and long in front. We'll raise the arms up and overhead. And just take a nice deep fold forward. Okay, whatever that looks like for you this evening. Good, and start to lift yourself back up and out of this. We'll bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees kind of drop out wide. And this can be a more intense bound ankle pose where you pull the heels in close to the pelvic floor. or maybe the feet are kind of far away from you if you want something a little bit more relaxed. And let's just fold into this one too. And start to lift yourself up and out of this one, and then we're just going to gather the knees up and roll down onto our backs. And as you roll down onto your back, make sure you have your block item close by. Once you find your back, a little happy baby. Good, that rock from side to side. You might take, your knees in opposite circles here. So bringing both of them in towards the center and then allowing them to come out wide and bringing them back towards the center. Good, moving clockwise and counterclockwise. And we'll just extend that right leg out nice and long. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Let's take a little bit of a twist here. So as you drop that left knee over the midline, you can keep that right leg long. Another thought is to bend that right knee and reach back for the right foot with your left hand. For cat pulling its tail. Maybe you want to bend both of the knees and bring them in towards the chest and just stretch your arms out. Easy going. Choice is yours. Good. Come on back through to the center. And if you would like to take an active bridge pose or a wheel pose or something in that vein, you're welcome to do that. Just a few moments of activating the back plane of the body. Good. And then you'll roll that spine back down and pull the knees in towards the chest. Maybe a little rock from side to side here for a moment. This time extend the left leg out nice and long on the mat. Right knee hugs in. And let's take that twist. Bring the right knee across the midline. If you want to reach back for that left foot with your right hand, that's a thought. Wonderful. A couple more breaths. Right, and then back through to the center where we'll just do restful things from now on. So let's bring that block underneath the pelvis, lifting the hips up and away from the floor just a little bit. You can keep your knees bent with your toes pointing up, or if you want to extend the legs out long, it's a nice thing to do for yourself too, as long as your lower back is okay with it. Yeah, send those feet up towards the ceiling, whatever you want to do here. Good, and just let yourself settle. Let yourself settle and breathe. I think I inadvertently left you for a moment there, but I am back. You could choose to stay here with your hips elevated on the block. Or this is birth and death class, so I mean, I feel like Shavasana is kind of kind of something we should do here, maybe. Shavasana, corpse pose, extending those legs nice and long. Arms alongside you. Every voluntary muscle at rest here. Good. As you feel ready to move yourself in the small ways at first. And then in the bigger ways, maybe a nice big stretch, or if you like to roll over onto your side, that might feel good too. Right. But eventually, yeah, we'll all come up to a seated position. Just get in there, taking your time. And I thought we would practice a mudra just to close out this evening. This is a mudra. There are a few different meanings for this mudra, and I've used it in classes before to represent the balance between your inner and your outer world. So it's Dharma Chakra Mudra. Make two okay signs with your hands. You turn your left hand towards your heart, and then you hook this right little beak up to your left middle finger pad. Okay, so your hands are connected here in this really delicate way. And there's another meaning for this mudra, and it's all about the connection between death and life. All of the fingers have different like planetary symbolism and elemental symbolism. It's such a deep thing. But this connection here is the point at which after you pass, then you are reborn in Hindu mythology, so, or in Hindu philosophy. So let's hold this in front of our heart for a few moments. Representing the new growth and what we can let go of. What must fall away before something can bloom. No one part better than the other. Wonderful. And then let's release our hands and just set them on top of our heart and take a deep breath in, and lifting the heart up into the hands. And a deep breath out to drop the head down towards your hands and your heart, honoring your practice and each other too. Thanks, everybody. It was really nice.